What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and today I'm going to be exploring the neighborhood of Prospect Lefferts Gardens right here in Brooklyn, New York. It's a little small neighborhood between Flatbush and Crown Heights, but I think it's a little bit of a section of Flatbush, and I think it's an upcoming neighborhood. One main attraction is that it's really next to Prospect Park to my left, and there's a lot of residential streets like tree-lined streets, brownstones, even houses, and the main street, which is Flatbush Avenue, also North Avenue, and the other side. So without further ado, we're going to explore the neighborhood to see what it has to offer, so join me. This over here is part of Flatbush Avenue, which you know it goes all the way through downtown Brooklyn, all the way deep down south too. But I think I'm going to do a detour in one of the regular streets, starting with Maple Street, because I think there are some houses over there that we should explore. But ahead of me, it should be pretty interesting because I think there's a lot of restaurants and shops. But I think I'm gonna leave Flatbush Avenue for the last. For now, I want to explore the regular streets to see what the neighborhood has to offer. So far, I'm liking it, and the weather's just plain gorgeous today. As you can see, the neighborhood keeps going, but then Maple Street is to my left, so I'm gonna make a detour. And you can see the signs are written in brown, so that's how you know it's a historic district. So now I made it to Maple Street, and I gotta tell you, it's pretty beautiful over here because it's like they got some gorgeous houses with some trees that I'm gonna show you guys in a bit. They were covered with a tree-lined street, and then here we got some of the brick buildings. And it's crazy that it's literally right next to the main street, but it's like you literally just enter another world. Kind of has like a semi-European vibe to it, you know, the houses. Then ahead of me, I think it gets even more interesting. Then you see it's going, and then to my left is gonna be pretty interesting. It feels like you literally enter a suburb. Kind of reminds me of some neighborhoods in Queens, New York. So you got the houses like this. And it's my first time around here. You know, I've heard about this neighborhood. I passed by, but I never gone like deep inside the neighborhood in a while. It's crazy how we enter a residential street like this. Look at all these beautiful houses right here. Wow. My first block exploring in Prospect Lefferts Gardens, and so far, you know, it's living up to the hype of gardens, to what it says, you know, the vegetation. It was plain beautiful. Look at these houses. Wow. I just love the contrast of the streets in New York City, how I end up in a crazy busy main street, and then you could do a little detour and you end up like in a small regular street like this. So you can see all the beautiful houses over here. And literally really close to the subway train, the Q train and the B train, it stops here. And within like about 30 minutes or less, you'll be in the heart of Manhattan. This house, wow. Pretty big and nice. And you got the little ones over there, but they look pretty cool too. And of course, they got pretty comfortable in the bike lane. Like I said, the weather's just perfect. I love September just because of the perfect weather. A little sad because it's gonna be ending pretty soon, but it's the best time. Wow, ahead of me, I see some even bigger houses that I want to show you. Then we got Bedford Avenue ahead. I'm gonna show you this massive, this is like a mansion. Just look at this right here, wow. All gated and everything. Pretty big, you know. Plenty of parking too in the street. So it seems like it's a couple of houses all connected together. Wow. So once I pass Bedford Avenue, it's gonna turn mostly like into Brownstone. Wow, I really like how the people dress in this neighborhood. Really cool, fashionable. It's kind of giving me a semi-vibe of Harlem too, but it's gonna get even nicer ahead of me too, like 2 or 3 story old apartment complex with architecture. So I'm standing by Bedford Avenue, and this goes all the way to Williamsburg. And, you know, it's literally like the main street of Williamsburg where all the action is happening. So you can see how it looks like towards my side over this way. And I'm just waiting for the light to change so I can cross on the other side. And then over here is like I literally enter another world. Wow, this is crazy. It's like all this apartment complex, but it seems like they're all combined together. Even got the light and everything, so let me see, where can I get some really good shots? Then across the street, you can see how beautiful it is, wow. So I'm literally walking here, wow. This is like a different type of apartment complex in Brooklyn. I know a lot of them, they have the curves, but it's just like the colors and the fact that it's literally all connected together. And then you cross the street, and they're pretty much similar, wow. Really impressed with the neighborhood. So like I said before, many of my videos, In terms of architecture, you know, like regular residential apartment architecture, I think Brooklyn takes the crown here in New York City with, look at all of this. It's crazy that they even have like their front patio over here. I see a couple of people sitting, you know. But yeah, this is really gorgeous right here. And it just keeps going. Like I say, it seems like all these buildings are connected. But after this, I think I'm gonna detour in another block to see how it changed from this one. Then these are the regular standard brownstone buildings or apartment complexes that you're used to in Brooklyn with the colors like this, brownish. So here it turns a little bit different. Then even across the street. And another cool thing about summers and probably the fall season in New York City is that in neighborhoods like this, but mostly I think it's by Fort Greene area, sometimes they be doing block parties like, you know, in a regular street like this, and they got DJs and people just dancing and enjoying the vibe. So that's something, you know, pretty interesting. But I think I'm gonna do like maybe a block or two to see how different the other blocks are from this one. But I'm pretty sure they're similar, and each block, you know, it's pretty much worth it to explore. I think now I'm just gonna do a block in the other side to see how different it is from this block. And then I'm just gonna merge to the other way, North Strand Avenue. You know, North Strand Avenue goes all the way to Crown Heights. And then it goes deep down to the other part, which is also called the Little Caribbean. Because in the other part of Brooklyn is highly a Caribbean population, like Trinidadian, Haitians, Jamaican, and all of that. There's even a little Haiti, it's not even too far from here, but let's see what's going on in Midwood Street. And then we're just gonna turn back and explore the other side. So this is Midwood Street over here. And the apartments are pretty similar. The only difference is that the sidewalk is wider and spacious. You know, it looks pretty nice, how they got it nicely and decorated with the trees, with the plants. It's like you're walking under a tunnel of trees, and then you got the beautiful architecture of Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, this is just gorgeous. And then the street, it's gonna be even nicer during the fall season when the leaves start falling down. So here you can see how we're literally covered with trees, and you got a beautiful residential apartment complex like this. So yeah, you know, pretty much the street looks similar to the other side. But now I'm gonna turn back and make it to the other main street, which is North Strand Avenue. And I think the vibe changes a little bit in that side. So I'm probably gonna do a couple of blocks in that avenue, and then I'm gonna turn back, because I think there's another street that also has houses, maybe nothing crazy, but I wanna see what the vibe looks like. So once I pass Rogers Avenue, over here the vibe changes a little bit. I'm still in the street over here. That's really cool. But yeah, you can see how it changes. So here we got a couple of houses, kind of like any house that you can get in the suburb. The only difference is that they're all together. And we got an apartment complex like this. So, you know, the terms of architecture, it changes, but what I like about it is that they still got the trees that cover up the streets, and it helps out with the weather and the vegetation. This over here is North Strand Avenue. You can see this. They got a grill and stuff. So this vibe over here changes. I literally saw like a grill back there. You know, one of the restaurants, I guess they were like getting ready to cook some chicken right in the sidewalk. So over here the vibes changes from the other side, you know. So this over here is more like a Caribbean vibe. And I think Little Caribbean is not far from here. So one day I'm gonna go over that side to explore. I'm gonna do like 2 more blocks around here in North Strand Avenue, and then I'm gonna make it back to Fenimore Street, because I think that street is pretty nice, and they got like a couple of houses that I think it's worth to check it out. And as you can see, it's a main street, but it's not much happening, just regular convenience store, a wide sidewalk, and then they got an area for a designated bus lane. So then I think Fenimore Street should be 1 block ahead of me. Then we're gonna make it right and start seeing what that street has to offer. So if you're a fan of Caribbean food, like West Indian food, I think the best place to come is here in Brooklyn. This is where they always do the Labor Day Festival every year in September. I've never been, but hopefully one day I'll come and check it out. But now let's hit Fenimore Street to see what the street looks like. So here's Met. You can see they got the old houses, but also at the same time, they're building some new units over here. This one I could tell is finished. The next door is building a new one, a balcony. So it seems like little by little, you know, the neighborhood, like plenty of other neighborhoods in Brooklyn, they're gentrifying. And most likely, you know, pushing the natives or the locals out because of the prices are skyrocketing and the scaffolding. So it's just a mix of houses like this one. But then you got new buildings that they pop up like this one. Seems like this one is about to be finished and open. We'll see what's happening ahead. And the other side, I see plenty of trees and like a gate. And over here, I gotta say, wow, just look at this. Huge, massive trees. And it kind of reminds me of one of the streets I was recording by Flatbush, Brooklyn. Like a lot of people will give it a buy, like Flatbush is just apartments in a dangerous area, but they have residential streets with beautiful houses. Like it makes you feel like if you're in Connecticut, New Jersey, or Long Island. Just look at this, wow. Beautiful houses. So it literally feels like I'm somewhere else and not in the city. But I just love how massive the trees are. Like, look at this one. Goes all the way up. The trees are just so massive that the street, it kind of gets a little bit dark. So that's how well protected it is. It just must suck in the fall season when all the leaves fall down and whoever got to rake them. So those are the cons of the fall season. Just like in the winter when the snow falls, the cons are when it sticks to the ground, people got to clean it up or shovel out the car if they own a car. But yeah, so it's crazy. You know, this neighborhood is not really that big, but it's pretty diverse, like in terms of streets. Like one street is literally full of historic apartment complexes and the other street is full of beautiful houses, and you got houses like this, and wow. But that's the beauty and one thing that I love about New York. Like, no matter what street you go, you always find something pretty interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead, then I'm gonna turn back to another street and then do my grand finale walking Flatbush Avenue. And over here, look at this beauty right here. Pretty nice. Then we got the wide sidewalk. The residential units, so this, you know, probably a pleasant neighborhood to live. But I mean, there are tons and tons of neighborhoods all over New York City, so pretty hard to choose because a lot of neighborhoods are really cool. So now I'm gonna make it 2 blocks down towards Windsor Street to see what's going on, because I think there's like a local park over there, mini park. Not sure if it's private, but gonna check it out. You know, I love checking out every single part of the neighborhood to see how they are, so stay tuned. So I made it to Windsor Street. So far nothing crazy, but I see like a mixture of old buildings with new modern buildings that they're building up. So you can see they got old apartments like this, but you got it all over. And then they got a couple of houses, and then look at this modern apartment that they pop up. So it's more ahead, and there's to be a tiny local park over here. Also, another thing, because the weather's nice, I smell the barbecue, so I guess people are grilling out in their backyards. You know, that's how it is over here in the summer in the States. And as you can see, you got Victorian style houses right here, and then a local park. It's a playground, so nothing crazy. Then we got a basketball court, and I'm gonna assume it's a school in the background. So yeah, like pretty much like any local park you can find all over the city. Court and the school. So now I'm walking Parkside Avenue, and I'm gonna make it to the end and start walking Flatbush Avenue by Prospect Lefferts Gardens. So you can see how the avenue is. You know, it probably has a lot of restaurants and shops. It's been a minute since I've been there, but I want to check it out to see what's going on. So I know it's gonna be pretty cool and pretty interesting. But meanwhile, even Parkside is pretty cool to look at with the structures of the buildings and architectures, you know. It's like every single block that you walk in this neighborhood is pretty cool. And it seems like today's the National Barbecue Day, because I literally smell barbecue in every block that I'm walking. Look at these apartments, how nice they are. And also the main attraction is that you got Prospect Park, which is kind of like the Central Park of Brooklyn. But I think I like Prospect Park better because it's more local, more chill. Here we are approaching Flatbush Avenue, and it seems like it's busy over this area. But now let's make it right and see what's going on. So even the main avenue over here is literally covered with trees. But it still needs like more development. Like a lot of the buildings and shops, they're kind of like a little bit run down. so you can see what's going on. But maybe in the future they're probably gonna change this, you know, and put like nicer restaurants. Like here's like an empty lot. Well, not empty, they got a couple of restaurants like Mexican Kitchen. Maybe if I go a little bit more ahead, I see a new tall building over there, so it seems like it's brand new. It says grand opening. I guess this is like a bodega, which you find it all over New York City. One of the things I like about New York City, how we find bodegas or corner stores all over. And a lot of them, they open up 24 hours, so it's pretty convenient. I forgot that today is Sunday. Like I say, no matter what day of the week you go in New York City, sometimes you don't know what day it is, because any day can be busy depending on the neighborhood that you go. And before I hit it back, I like the street art over here. It's pretty nice, you know, really cool. Got a street art in Flatbush Avenue and the high-rise building that they pop up. That's another thing I forgot to mention, though. A lot of these corner stores, not all, but a lot of them, if you look at them in the side with a corner, they got like a beautiful street art. So it proves you, you know, all the talent they got here in New York City. So it just keeps going. And like I say, this side of Flatbush Avenue is just like a lot of tall residential units, and then a couple of businesses in the first floor, but then it's surrounded by the trees. So I'm gonna make it to one of the streets and make a left and head towards the entrance of Prospect Park to finish my video over there. So here's one of the subway stations, the B, Q, and shuttles train station. Prospect Park subway station, and then right here is Prospect Park, which I'm gonna enter and wrap up the video. So here I literally just enter Prospect Park, and you can see it's literally vegetation and nature. I think the last time I came here was when I was filming the Smorgasburg video over here. Not sure they still do it. It's usually every Sunday that they do it right here. And all the Smorgasburg that they do, this is probably like the biggest one all over New York City. I forgot what area. I think it's around here, but a little bit deep down the park where they got international food. But I think it's a little bit pricey for the portion of food that they be serving. But, you know, still something really cool to look at. But then here, since it's, you know, Sunday and nice weather, you can see it's pretty busy over here. And you can bring your bike and bike around. This goes all the way to Grand Army Plaza, the park, so it's a pretty massive park. And pretty local, that I highly recommend that you guys come and check this local park out. But I think I'm gonna wrap up the video. I think I already seen enough for today for Prospect Lefferts Gardens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.